to Media Bites. This is Random Rob. Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey is often referred to as being an art film. I think this has a lot to do with the fact that the film has, among other things, long takes. Long takes with proto-humans not saying anything. Long takes with modern humans not saying anything. Long takes with objects and people moving slowly, and dialogue between characters that seems existential, procedural, or just a little off somehow. There are also long passages with music, and music by modern composer Ligeti, which is jarring and meant to suggest something otherworldly. Many films that employ long takes, little dialogue, and otherworldly music are often labeled art films. But I don't feel that 2001 is an art film. I feel its meanings and iconography are very straightforward, in some cases even on the nose. If there is anything in 2001 that I would describe as intentionally artful, it would be the visual motif of being watched, which permeates the film. Whether it's the proto-humans glancing straight into the camera, the hunting leopard looking into the camera, the monolith looking down at the proto-humans and the audience, Haywood Floyd watching his daughter, or the voice print identification program, or the Russians who are also watching him, the astronauts standing in front of the monolith being photographed while we watch as the signal makes them look at the monolith, which looks down on them and us, the audience. Hal watching Frank and Dave watching the frozen scientists, the audience watching Hal kill the scientists, Hal looking at the audience while talking to the humans, Dave looking at the audience while traveling through the space gateway, Dave watching himself at different ages, then the monolith, then the Star Child looking at the audience. The reference point for all the action in the film is between the screen and our eyes. From beginning to end, the audience is a witness to transcendent events that no one is able to see. That's artful, and it's an extension of the new wave of cinema of the 1960s that still resonates today. There's very little expositional dialogue in the film except for Floyd's recorded message that Dave triggers when he dismantles Hal's logic circuits. Everything else is like being there, and that was the intent. I'd agree that this is art. The story and themes? Not so much. If you ask me what does the monolith represent, I'd say it could be the agency of alien intelligence, it could be God, but what I think it represents is the monolith. It's a plain concrete form that stands for a plain concrete idea of something that is beyond our ability to extrapolate on. What it is doesn't really matter. What matters is that it causes a change in what it's exposed to. The proto-humans who are exposed to it begin using tools, become carnivorous, and run off the lesser among them. Another monolith is found buried on the moon, to determine if humans have taken their tool building to the nearest neighbor. If so, go to Jupiter. Whoever makes it to Jupiter is the one. Another change happens. As for the robotic dialogue from Dave and Frank indicating some statement about human evolution, I prefer to look at it that Dave and Frank are meant to show us that humans in this technological future would by association be imbued with a technical precision uncommon to other fields. And this was drawn plainly from NASA films of the time. Even during the Apollo 13 disaster, the crew spoke precisely and calmly about what they were doing. There's no room for uncertainty in space. The detachment of the characters may appear as an artistic aside, but it's based in realism. Some prefer the allegory that Hal is like a golem or a dragon that must be slain to gain the holy grail of the monolith. But I prefer the view that Hal is the closest thing to human that man has produced, so strictly from the view of logic, it's most sensible that he be the one to move forward, at least until Dave uses his human ingenuity to unplug his brain. Clarke later explained away Hal's behavior in 2010 as a logical crisis brought about by conflicting orders. But I feel this was a gimmick to get people to buy the book or see the film. The 80s was when fleshing out backstories of older films started to become a trend that has unpleasantly been allowed to continue to the present day, as a way to fill films with secrets. But I'm not a fan of this kind of thing. Hal tells Dave the mission is too important to be jeopardized by human error. It's a pretty ironclad statement. It tells you exactly where Hal is in his thinking. Being exposed to the biggest truth of all time is likely going to cause some heavy behavior. I don't buy into Clark's revisionism. I think he got it right the first time. As for the light show, Dave is being taken somewhere else, somewhere far away, maybe in a different time or universe. Why? Who knows? What's significant is that he arrives into captivity. When he sees himself in advanced age, I believe he is being accelerated through his life, presumably so he doesn't go mad from the captivity he's being subject to. Here again, the music of Ligeti would seem to indicate something else. Something alien is observing Dave, along with the audience. The next step is the Star Child. Perhaps it's a being of energy, perhaps a symbol of the totality of human existence in one clear image. But I don't think the Star Child represents anything other than itself, like the monolith represents the monolith. I personally don't believe Kubrick was big on symbolism. Coming from a photographic background, he would embellish ideas visually, but his visuals meant what they meant. They're bold, concrete things. The blood coming out of the elevator in The Shining, for example, it means there's blood coming out of an elevator. Major Kong riding the bomb isn't a metaphor about American attitudes towards war. It's just meant to be darkly funny. The visceral effect the image has on the audience is what it means. The discomfort the monolith causes as an unresolved visual reference is what it means. If there is art, it's what we engender it with, but I'm pretty sure Kubrick was happy with the effect it had visually, and didn't worry about the details. You see, Kubrick wasn't interested in science fiction. He told Clark so, which is why he wanted 2001 to be the be-all, end-all of science fiction. To throw in the evolution of humanity, God, alien intelligence, etc. It was meant to be profound and realistic, but I don't think of 2001 as an art film. I think of it as the greatest science fiction film of the 20th century because of what it is, not what I think it might mean. If you enjoyed this video and would like to hear more, please like this video on the YouTube page and like Media Bites on Facebook. Feel free to leave any questions or comments in the field provided below, and I'll see you next time.